Good morning, good morning. It is Monday, October 2nd, and this is Amy Pagan Art. I'm Amy Pagan, and you know what Monday means? Another free art class. So those of you who have not joined us before, we meet every Monday at noon at Amy Pagan Art on Facebook and YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, and we just do art. We have a good time. And there's no charge at all. This is just so that everybody can enjoy starting off their week with some lovely art. If you do like the class, please like and share, and definitely put a little comment to let me know if you're having fun, and say hi and let me know what other classes you would like to do. Okay, so before we get started today, we want to remember why we're here. Why are we here? That's right, we're here to have fun. We're not going to be painting the Sistine Chapel today. There is no reason for any kind of stress. This is just fun for having fun and starting off our week with some happy art, okay? You don't have to buy any special supplies today. I'm going to be demonstrating using my handy dandy watercolors and some colored pencils. So we'll talk about those and paper. So, oh, you're also going to want a number 2 pencil just to like outline a few things first. Anywho, if you agree to just have a good time and enjoy yourself and not beat yourself up, don't judge yourself, just give yourself a chance to have fun, okay? This is just for fun. If you agree to be kind to yourself, be kind to others, you go ahead and give me a heart or a thumbs up, and definitely like and share this class so that others can do it with us, okay? Since today's class is pre-recorded, I'm counting on you to be nice to yourself. I'm gonna assume that you have promised, and I'm just gonna slowly push this guy over here so I can see. So now we have, okay, there's our example. Example's gonna hang out right here. I'm gonna grab some paper. Here we go. Every week I use the same paper. I use, this one in particular is Canson cold press, 140 pound? Yes, 140 pound cold press watercolor paper. And I have cut it to a 4x6, which is the size of a postcard. So you can mail it to somebody if you want. You can also copy these, like, you know, scan them into your scanner, and then you could have them printed off on note cards. You just do whatever you want. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I'm using. Do you have to use this paper? No, you do not. You just use whatever you've got. If you're painting, try to use the heaviest paper that you have so that it can absorb the water better. If you are using watercolor paper, remember, bumpy side goes up. There's a smooth side, there's a bumpy side. Depending on the paper, sometimes it's a little hard to tell, but you just take your best shot, okay? All right, so we are breaking everything down into colors and shapes, and we're gonna measure using our fingers, so no stress, just, you know, whatever size your hand is gonna be approximately the same size as mine, so we're not gonna worry about it. All right, each ghostie is about, here's 1 knuckle, here's 2 knuckle, so like 2.5 knuckles high, okay? And each ghostie is about 1.5 knuckles wide. We're gonna do 3 of them, and we're just gonna plant the first one right in the middle of our page, and let's take a look at what shape he is. If we look at our ghostie, he is almost like a big, tall, upside down letter U. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna make a big letter U here right in the middle of our page, and we're gonna leave ourselves some room to put in other letter U's, right? Okay, right down here at the bottom, we're gonna do these little waves. Now they don't have to be a big deal. You're just gonna make a little, almost like you're doing a letter M. See that letter M? Do you all hear that loud noise in the background? You know what that is? It's rabbits. It's my rabbits playing in their kennels. They don't get to run around free while I'm online because they are danger bunnies and they like to create chaos, so much chaos. Okay, so we've got one. Let's leave about a finger's width in between, and we'll do another one. Do they have to be perfect? No, they do not. Of course not. we want them to be pretty much the same size, give or take. They definitely don't have to be perfect. And we just did a real curvy letter M there at the bottom. Okay, each of our little ghosties is holding something different. This one's holding a pumpkin. This one is holding a little sign that says boo, and this one's holding a candy corn. Now, if y'all remember going back, let's see, I think 2 weeks ago, we did pumpkins, right? And then last week we did candy corn. And we did both of these using both a colored pencil. Let's see, where's my pumpkin example? Colored pencil, and we also did watercolor paints. So we could do that with these too. We'll try them both out. If you need any help on making your pumpkins or your candy corns, please do look at our past classes, which are on Amy Pagan Art on Facebook and on YouTube. And this is just a little sample guy I did for today. He's our new guy, right? Little boo. But anywho, you can have your pumpkins, you can have your ghost holding whatever you want. If that's a pumpkin, if it's a sign, if it's candy corn, if it's something else, whatever you want. Maybe even a little ghosty hat would be cute. All right, so each of these pumpkins is holding something, so he's gonna need some little hands. Now, if you look at our hands, they're almost like the letter C. Can you see that? This would be a C pointing the correct way, and this would be a C pointing the other way. Sometimes I made them a little longer. This one almost looks like a letter J, right? Or like a question mark sometimes. So what we're gonna do, these are about halfway down their body. So let's find the middle of our ghost right around here. We're gonna give him a little room on the side. So if we look, there's our pencil, right? So about the width of your pencil. So here's his side, about the width of my pencil. And I'm just gonna do a little J, a little leaning J, or a little C, just like that. Now remember, when I make my pencil marks, I'm gonna make them darker than I want you to make yours, and that's so that they don't interfere with your painting. But when I'm doing them online, I do try to make things darker so that you can see it better. It won't really matter that much in this one because we are gonna use some black to outline all of the lines that we're making now. Okay, so if I want to give him a little sign, I'm just gonna kind of wing it and do a little square. That square is really about the size of my thumbprint, okay? And then he needs 2 eyeballs. I'm gonna give myself about a fingerprint worth of space, and I'm just gonna give him 2 little oval eyes. And those ovals are gonna be about the size of your pencil eraser, but of course my pencil eraser is round, and these are going to be ovals. So just kind of make them a little ovally going up and down. Okay. Let's come over here. We're going to do the same thing, kind of like a little J, a little C, and I'm going to give him oval and oval. And I'm just going to do kind of like a rounded triangle from a candy corn. Let's come on over here. And we're gonna do a little C, a little J, and eyeball, eyeball. And I'm just gonna do a little circle and a stem. We're obviously gonna add in a lot more details, gonna make this a lot more interesting, but that's our basic outline. That's all we need to do with our pencil. Oh, I forgot to redraw my pencil today. Let's see. This one says, friends make everything okay. All right. So now is the fun part where we get to add color. And I did bring some new things today. Those of you who don't know me, I do not take sponsorships. So every time that you see me show you some art supplies, these are the art supplies that I got for myself, that I like, that I think work really well, and that's why I will share them with you, okay? I also do try to pick stuff that is very affordable so that you don't feel like you have to go run out and spend a bunch of money. You just use whatever you want to. You can use crayons, pencils, paints, whatever. Okay, oh, those of you, so last week I was sick, and I just wanted to thank those of you. I heard from a lot of people hoping that I got better soon, and it worked, y'all. You did great. Thank you very much. It was real quick. I did have COVID, which stunk. Of course, I got COVID like 3 days before the booster vaccine was available. But I called my doctor, called in, what is it called? Paxlovid, which is a newer treatment for it. It was really easy. I took 3 days worth of medicine. Bam, felt so much better. So if you do happen to come down with COVID, do call your doctor immediately. You do have to take that stuff pretty quickly for it to work. Highly recommend it. I felt so much better, and very, very quickly. But even better, go get your vaccine because the boosters are available now. Okay, these are some brand new colored pencils, Winsor & Newton's, and I just got them. They are watercolor pencils, and we'll see how they work. We'll do one ghost maybe with the colored pencil, and then we'll do some others with watercolor. All right, first thing I'm gonna do. Today I'm gonna use my smaller paintbrush, which is a Princeton #1 round synthetic bristle. And I'm also going to use my Princeton #6 round synthetic bristle. So 6 bigger, #1 smaller. All right. My paints are Prisma Marketing's art philosophy paints, and super cheap. Not super cheap, but they're very inexpensive and very well made. They have great pigment. And I'm gonna grab a little black. Just right there on the tip of my paintbrush. If you don't want to use paints, you go ahead and use your pencils, and I will show those in just a little bit. Okay. Do make sure you say hi in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I love knowing how you're doing. I hope you guys are all feeling really well, doing well. I hope you're enjoying October. We're just going to outline our little ghostie. Now I am using my thinner paintbrush because I just want to have a real thin outline. Boop. I'm going to outline his little hands. I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to fill in his little eyeballs. Boop. Now usually I tell you guys that if you want to, you can always use a black Sharpie pen, and you definitely can. But I am going to use the watercolor here to create some shadows, which you won't be able to do with your Sharpie, but you will be able to do with colored pencils, okay? And with paints. So let's talk about where we want to put shadows on our ghost. If you look, we are putting the shadows here in between where the fabric would be folded, right? So we're gonna have a little shadow there in the middle, and so that would be represented by where our, see these tips right here? Okay, so when it rounds up, when it rounds down, there we go, right in there, right in where it kind of goes up, that top of the M, that's where we're going to want to put, is that right? How did I do that? Pretty much. So we're gonna look where we think the fabric would be folded, and that's where we're going to put our shade, our little shadow in. So I've got, let's put one in right here. I'm going to rinse off my brush so I just have water, okay? And I'm looking right here where I think my fabric's going to be curved, and I'm just going to blend that up so it's almost like a little triangle shape. And all I'm using is water. I'm using that water, and I'm using the paint that's kind of left over there. So I'm just looking where I think that fabric's going to fold. Ooh, there we go. Some little shadows. And I'm making like little tall triangles. Now I can extend that line up. I want to also kind of make a little shadow here. So I'm just going to go back and forth underneath. I keep wanting to say paw, but I guess it's his hand. And right here underneath his little sign. Adding a little more water because my paintbrush got dry. There we go. Maybe a little curvy up there. Ooh, okay. Let's do the same thing with our little pumpkin guy, and then we're going to use some colored pencils. All right, so I'm outlining. And remember, to get the thinnest line possible, you want to hold your paintbrush as close to up and down on the paper as you can. The more your paintbrush leans to the side, the fatter your line will be. Hold it straight up and down, thinner line. Okay, so I'm outlining hands or paws, whatever you want them to be. And go ahead and color in those ovals. All right, and I'm gonna rinse my brush. So all I have on my brush is some water. And I'm gonna look for where I think I wanna put shadows. Right here. So you can see how I start down at the bottom, right? So that I can pick up the little bit of pigment there. So I'm just pulling some of that pigment up into thin little triangles. I'm gonna come and make a little shadow underneath his hand. Little shadow here, little shadow underneath the pumpkin that he's holding. Okay, this guy, let's try these pencils. Now these are brand new pencils, I've not used them before. So it is a Winsor & Newton black. This one's colored black, and these are watercolored pencils. So in theory, I should be able to use my paintbrush to smudge them. So let's find out if it works. All right, so I'm outlining. I'm gonna color in his little eyeballs. Okay, so moment of truth. I'm gonna grab my paintbrush. And get it wet. I'm gonna look for where I might want to put a shadow. Oh, look at that, y'all, it does work. So just looking to where I think it would crease, or where he'd have a little bit of shadow. It's definitely not as dark as the watercolor, but again, I didn't make my lines very dark, so let's try that again. Maybe if I make this a little bit darker, I'll have more to pull from. Let's see. Let's see. Absolutely. Okay, so that worked. Ooh. There we go. All right, and a little bit underneath one paw, a little bit under there, a little underneath the candy corn. And we're just zipping along. Now see how his eyes, they don't look as dark as with the watercolor. Let's see if we add some water in there to blend that color in with the pencil. That did work, look at that. It made it a little bit darker. So cute. Okay. So now I'm going to put in color for the pumpkin and the sign and the candy corn. I'm going to grab a little bit of orange. I'm not making my pumpkin as detailed as I did 2 weeks ago when we did just the pumpkin. You absolutely can. For this particular postcard, I'm just going to make it one color, but it would be even more interesting if you gave it more detail. So I'm just going to color. Just going to paint in here with my orange. And I'm trying not to touch the black so that the colors won't bleed into one another. I'm going to come over here to my candy corn, outline it. Orange stripe goes in the middle. I'm going to rinse off my brush. I'm going to grab a little yellow. Put some yellow down here in the bottom. Now if they touch, they will bleed, but also that's not that big a deal. Rinsing off my brush, and now I'm going to grab a little brown. And I'm just going to do, bloop, little stem. Just a little line, little tiny curvy line. Okay, so the sign says boo. If you feel very confident with your paintbrush, you go ahead and use your paintbrush to write that. If you don't you worry about it. You can use a marker, you can use a pencil. I'm just gonna go ahead and use my orange pencil. I am pretty happy with these Winsor colors so far. Boo. And boo. This is just, I mean, you can do so many things with this. You could definitely make your pumpkins or your candy corn more detailed. You could add anything. You could have them holding a little witch's hat or a little sign that says hi, or I'm sure there's a bazillion different things that you guys can think of, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Would you please, when you're all done, if you would take a picture and put it in the comments of this post, or you can DM it to me if you want. Please let me know if it'd be okay to share it, because I just love sharing y'all's artwork. And let me know if there's any other things that you want to create. By the way, one of my very favorite things is when you guys leave jokes in the comments. So if you have any Halloween or ghost themed jokes, put them in the comments. I will read them. I will laugh. Other people will read them. They will laugh, and it will brighten everyone's day. Before you finish up today, make sure that you sign your work, because it is your work. All I did was walk you through a little process. Whatever you created is yours. I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your Monday. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you again for all the well wishes. I'm not 100% yet, but I am so much better. And I really, really appreciate all of your sweet notes. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Happy October. Happy Monday. I'll see you right back here next Monday at noon at Amy Pagan Art. You guys take care. Remember to like and share, and remember to be kind to yourself. Bye, you guys. See you soon.